Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to a conversation that we're going to have this morning regarding Black maternal health. And I'm so thrilled to be hosting this event. My name is Marie Kinsella. I'm the Director of Community Programs at the Partnership for Maternal and Child Health of Northern New Jersey. With me, I have Melanie Hutton and Lorraine Janot, who will introduce themselves. So ladies, would you give a brief introduction of yourselves?
Okay, well, again, good morning, everybody. My name is Melanie Hutton. I am the certified lactation counselor and a Healthy Women, Healthy Families worker for the Partnership for Maternal and Child Health. And I facilitate a moms group and a parents group for pregnant and postpartum women in Jersey City and Patterson called MOCA Movement. And we are a breastfeeding community, a healthier infant feeding community. And I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm Lorraine Jondo, a perinatal mental health coordinator for the Emotional Wellbeing Program. And I'm also a part of the Partnership for Maternal and Child Health organization. So I'm excited to be here.
Again, so thank you, ladies, and I really appreciate your participation. And, you know, this is such a wonderful opportunity for us to talk about, you know, what's happening in the world of maternal and child health, specifically Black women. So that's where I'll start my questions with for both of you. What does Black Maternal Health Week mean to you? Melanie or Lorraine, whoever wants to start first. What does it mean to you?
I can start. So Black Maternal Health Week, really, first of all, I didn't have any awareness until I started working in this field of maternal and child health. I think the idea has always been there because I was aware of some of the disparities and struggles that Black women experience, but having access to the true, I guess, inequities that we experience has kind of made me more passionate about helping women of color and providing some advocacy and of course, some education. And I think each year, the more we do and the more awareness that comes with Black Maternal Health Week, I just think that we're improving, we're getting better, and we're reaching more people.
Thank you, Melanie. Lorraine?
What does Black Maternal Health Week mean to me? I'll say Black Maternal Health Week is a celebration of all that we are, all that we've endured and prevailed as mothers in America. Black Maternal Health Week is an opportunity for Black mothers to be heard and be seen. It's an opportunity to share experiences and resources. So Black Maternal Health Week, it is a celebration because it is a time for us to speak. And yeah, that's what it means to me.
Well, you know what? When both of you were talking, I just got chills, you know, because it's a celebration of, you know, Black motherhood. You know, as a grandmother, a great grandmother, and a mother, you know, I feel that, you know, we have so much to give. And to just see young women like yourself involved in this movement really lifts my heart and my spirits, because I know that, you know, things are getting better and this is a celebration. So having said that, I'd like to ask you, what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions about Black mothers that you've heard?
Melanie, you want to take it?
First of all, there's so many. And just to note, I've been working with pregnant and postpartum women for over 10 years. So I've dealt with many cultures and met many families. And there are some I guess some ideas that people have already set in their head. You know, we always think, even though we don't want to, we always have kind of an idea, or we think we know what we're going to expect. When it comes to Black women, my own personal experience, I think, which is something that I can definitely speak to, is a lot of people, a lot of healthcare providers felt that I wasn't going to breastfeed, or I wasn't interested in breastfeeding at all, and didn't offer or provide any resources for me to gain some knowledge on what it's like to breastfeed. And there definitely wasn't any information available on what it's like to breastfeed as a Black woman. On the flip side, my family as a Black woman, deciding whether or not to breastfeed my children, my mother had not breastfed. She had plenty of stories to tell me about creating this carnation formula that her mother, my grandmother, had mixed together from the doctor's orders. Even stories of my brother and my sister sleeping in a dresser drawer. And I was the only one that got a crib. So, you know, Black women, in my experience, do want to breastfeed. I just think that we need to normalize it and make the information that goes along with breastfeeding readily available so that they can make a good choice.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Do you have anything to add with that, Lorraine?
Definitely. As a perinatal mental health coordinator, I work with all type of moms, right? And one of the misconception I've heard in the Black community is that, you know, providers and assume that they can endure it all alone, right? They assume that Black mothers are strong. They assume that we do not feel overwhelmed. They assume there's a lot of assumptions when it comes to Black motherhood, and it's not fair. It's not fair to assume that we got it all together. It's not fair to assume that we are superwoman and we don't need help. We get overwhelmed too, right? We feel the pain too.
Right.
So it's time for providers, for people in general, to extend grace when it comes to mothers of color, right? We may appear to be superheroes, but we don't always want to be superheroes. We don't always want to be strong. Extend grace toward us sometimes. And that's the biggest misconception I've heard, is that, you know, we have it all figured out. We don't.
Okay. Well, thank you. Very, very wonderful insights. You know, Melanie, I smiled when you talked about, you know, the baby in the dresser drawer. You know, because again, as a Black mom, you want to do everything that you can to make your baby as safe as possible. And I remember having to do that. My babies were born in the early 60s, and there was a time or two where I got that nice little dresser drawer fixed up and put that baby in there. So thanks for bringing up that warm memory for me. And again, to your point, Lorraine, you know, when we talk about the wonderful work that you're doing, which, you know, again, so uplifting, you know, to really to lift up, you know, there are things that are happening within our community as well, and it is being addressed. So for me, you know, that's just wonderful, you know, to hear that. So how do you feel the work that you do, and this is a question for both of you, empower Black mothers?
Lorraine, you want to go first?
So the emotional well-being program provide a space for Black mothers to be heard and supported, right? We empower them by connecting them to resources in their community they may not know existed. Also resources like therapy and support group. I make a duty of mine to encourage therapy in our community, right? Because that goes back to that mindset. I can handle it all by myself. I don't need to tell the world my dirty laundry. Or if I tell the world that I'm suffering emotionally, I am not doing well, then they will see me as an unfit mother. So I try to change that narrative and say, no, there's strength in vulnerability, right? There's strength in tears, there's strength in saying, I cannot do this today. And I try to normalize that. And thanks to the partnership, I am able to reach multiple women of color in different and various, on various platforms by telling them, no, it's okay, because motherhood sometimes is hard. It's not easy. So I think through my work, I empower a lot of women. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Lorraine. Melanie.
So I feel like we're all a part of the same team. Every time I get to work with, my coworkers and my team at the partnership, I feel like we all complement each other so well. So Lorraine's mom's group that encourages, healthy mental health, mental thinking, things like that, really complements our group, which focuses on healthy feeding for the baby and actually a little bit of development too. So our group is not just about breastfeeding. It's about recognizing the health of the mom and the baby and building a community where moms can rely on each other. So when you join Mocha Movement and when you become a part of our moms group or our parents group, you gain this instant network of other moms, and we can talk, openly, candidly, and be ourselves. Whereas some of the things that moms have expressed to me during the group is, some of the conversations that we have in our group, they don't feel comfortable sharing in groups with moms who don't look like them. So the benefit is we understand each other. Like Marie, you knew immediately, the baby in the dresser drawer was a thing that we did, and probably something cultural that's still passed down today. And in another group, it may not be as understanding, or it may not be as relatable. So that is, I think, the takeaway is that our group really understands each other, and we really try to support each other where we are, and to make things better and to learn. It's really all about learning to do better.
Wow, thank you. When I think about the years that I've spent in maternal and child's health, and particularly focusing on Black women and their experience, I've seen such an evolution. I remember when I started in 1997, really putting a focus on this to say, hey, things are not right within this community, what's going on? And we saw that it was across the spectrum. Again, you talked, Lorraine, about assumptions. Assumptions were made that, oh, well, this is happening because all these women are poor and, they're not taking care of themselves. But when we started to look at the full spectrum and the data did not tell us that. Mm-hmm. The data said if you were a Black woman, these were the things you were going to experience, whether you were college educated, had a PhD, lived in a $200,000 home, or in a housing project, you were going to be faced with the same and similar issues. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of focus, and I just remember just being so passionate. And I will say that there were people who were passionate along with me. We were like, yes, we're going to get in, we're going to, make this change. And slowly it just kind of disappeared for a while. But there were those who continued to fight and say, we're going to make this happen. I have to certainly give kudos to our former CEO and president, Elise Zimmerman, who really kept it at the forefront when we looked at disparities in maternal and child's health. So when I see today what's happening, I will tell you, I am so encouraged to know that we have an administration here in New Jersey that I feel is going to keep this in the spotlight and things are going to change. Because I will tell you, when I heard about things changing about 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, oh, gee, I just hope it continues. I hope it stays. But now I feel that it will. So for me, just seeing the evolution, the information is out there. People are saying, a change has to happen. And I'm seeing committed people from all walks of life saying a change has to happen. And I feel that it is, when I think about, the emphasis on doula support, Melanie, the wonderful work she's done with breastfeeding, really kind of bringing that to the forefront, and to know that, Black women the numbers are increasing. They may not be increasing by what some would measure as a success, but I feel they are. Every time I speak with Melanie and she has that one story about, this Black mother who was persistent and said, I'm gonna keep trying, I'm gonna get through this. And even you, Lorraine, to know that now women of color are attending support groups because they feel like, hey, this is a safe space. So when I think about maternal and child's health, when I started in I want to say about 1995, maybe a little earlier, to where it's at today, I am so encouraged, and I don't see it getting anything. I just see it just getting better and better. And I just wanted to share that, just as an encouragement that, things do get better. So, we talked about the importance of the support groups, and you all did a wonderful job, verbalizing that. I just want to know, is there anything else at this particular point in time before I go on with the rest of my questions that you'd like to, spend a minute on talking about? Either of you?
I would like to add a little something. With all the support and education that we're able to offer, and the parents and the families so readily accept and want, this is awesome. But again, our work is focused on a certain group, but it takes everyone's participation in order to be successful, right? I am always welcoming to childcare providers, pediatricians, obstetricians, community leaders, community members to become and participate with our group so that our reach can expand. You need everyone's support and everyone to be on board. And it is about the mothers, right? That's who we really value, and the babies, and we really want to make an impact on. But I just feel like if everyone were in this with the same hopes and the same aspirations of healthier infants, healthier moms, in any way that you think you can lend a helping hand, I welcome it. And I think I speak for Lorraine and Marie when I say that we welcome the support that our community can offer to us.
Yeah, definitely. And I would like to echo what Melanie had just shared by saying one of my favorite quotes is that together we aspire, together we achieve, right? And if we all have the same goal, the same aspiration, eventually we will get there. Our voice will be heard, right? Our voices will be heard, and we will be changing the narrative of Black maternal health in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, thank you so much, because, I will say to people, and I know I've heard a lot of mamas say it, I love being a mother. Mm-hmm. I love being a mother of those 5 wonderful Black children that my husband and I brought into this world and raised. And when I see them raising their children, and then, like I said, I've been blessed to see grandchildren with their children and their families. I'm just so, it's just overwhelming to me. It's such a blessing. And I tell people all the time, I love being a mom. I love being a grandma, and I think that's the message that, we want to promote. And Lorraine, you said it all when you said, this is a celebration. This is a week. We're not going to focus on all those statistics. We know what they are.
Yeah.
We're going to get out here. We're going to do the work. And we are going to, together, as Melanie mentioned, because it really takes a village. And I think people are starting to realize that, when it comes to so many things. And I do want to highlight one thing that Melanie does, which I just thought was so creative. She created something called Books and Babies. So Melanie, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because this really blends into what the three of us are, the messages that we want the community to receive.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, our group is focused on healthier infant feeding choices. But, we also want healthy babies that are happy and learning and growing the way they should. And when we decided to do Books and Babies, it was received so well. And basically during, I would say the middle of COVID, we couldn't get together and hold our in-person groups. We were doing everything virtually and by phone call and text. And the moms had the time, I had the time, and the partnership and Marie had the money. And we were able to acquire a bunch of children and books that are geared toward infants and a little older babies, written by Black authors. All of our books were written by Black authors, and what these books did is they highlighted Black children and Black families in a positive light. And I can tell you, I love all the work I do, but that was the most fun that I had in our groups, because it's usually more, solving issues, complications, kind of talking moms off the ledge. This was just fun times, and it allowed me to kind of step into a new light and see some developmental milestones be reached. We ran for almost a year with Books and Babies, and we had a set of twins. And we have a set of twins in the group from Jersey City. And the twins would be sitting down eating their dinner, and I had the pleasure to read our books to them. And you could see the babies light up. You could see that they recognized my voice on Monday evening. They loved the pictures that we could show to them visually on the screen, and the flexion in my voice when it changed along with the story. And it was truly, personally, a good warm feeling for me, just to see their receptiveness to listening to me talk. And then the moms appreciated it. And I think I mentioned to Marie several times, we had a very gentle competition between the moms, where they would say, what's the name of that book? Who's the author? How much is it? I'm going to add it to my library at home. We really like that one. We were able to gift a few books to our moms. And it's something that they continue to do, even though we don't host those meetings as frequently. The moms still read to the babies, and they share new books with me all the time. So yeah, Books and Babies was a wonderful inclusion to Mocha Movement in the group.
So Lorraine, would you like to add anything about that wonderful program that you have for our moms? I know you talked a little bit about it, but there must be something that, I see the shine and the light coming from you, about the work that you do. So do you have anything you want to add?
Sure. The Emotional Wellbeing Program is a program catered to perinatal women in general, right? So we support emotional health in pregnant women, in those who have baby under the age of 1, women who have experienced perinatal loss, currently have an adoption plan, or have had voluntary or involuntary abortion. Our goal is to be an outlet, right, for this mothers to turn to, this woman to turn to and say, hey, I need support. And we are able to connect them to resources But my favorite thing to do is to just be a listening ear, right? To be like, hey, I'm hearing you. I'm here for you. And reach out to me if you need anything. And if I am able to assist you in any way, I am here for you. And this mom appreciated so much to hear someone say, I am here for you. Because oftentimes, once baby comes into the picture, what happened? Everybody calls and say, hey, how's baby doing? How is baby doing? And we tend to forget about mommy, right? We tend to
Yes.
forget about the vessel. And we need to nurture the vessel. We need to mother the mothers as well. And I feel like with my program, we do that so well. We mothers this mom, we give them a space to come to and say, hey, today's not a good day. And nothing is more rewarding than that.
Wow. That's wonderful. This conversation is really going to lift me and carry me through the day. I feel so lightened, because I feel the passion that you both bring to this. And so in thinking, what's one lesson that you've learned about motherhood that you'd like to share? Or for those of you who are going to be mothers, in your case, Lorraine, is there anything that you'd like to share, something you learned about motherhood that, is like, wow, I learned this. Yeah. So Melanie, we'll start with you and then Lorraine.
One thing I've learned about motherhood.
And you think about what you're doing with those three wonderful people you have.
Yeah. I think I know I've learned that the best way to navigate through motherhood is to create a bond with your baby and really try to understand this person that you've created. I have 3 kids and they are completely different, each one of them. Sometimes I say, I don't know where you came from. Because their personalities vary so widely. And I think maybe most parents think, they're going to be like me or they're going to be like dad, and they develop into their own person. And it's a job every day to make sure that you provide and you are, doing the best that you can for these different people that you're growing into adults. I say just do the best that you can. As I've learned to do, get as much support and learn as much as you can from other moms, and be open and know that when you make mistakes that it's going to happen, and you just move on and enjoy the time that you have, because it goes by so quickly, really, really quickly. So I think that's
Lorraine,
one of
is
the
there
lessons.
anything you'd like to share?
Mary, I'm curious to hear about the lessons you've learned.
Hey, so thank
I'm
you for
curious.
turning that back on me, because what I've learned through the years is that it's never ending. When I think about my oldest son, when he had a little medical episode a few weeks back, and his wife called me, and all he wanted was his mom. And my son is in his 50s. He wanted his mom. And I was able to talk him through. And I think the lesson that I've learned through the years is that it never ends. Giving birth, yes, Melanie, they may get older and, they move on with their lives, and you may not hear from them every day, but that connection is always there. And I've learned, as Melanie mentioned, I've made mistakes, and we just get up and keep it moving. And that each of my children are individuals, and I've really learned that I was blessed. The more years that I have to say I'm so thankful for my blessings, which start with number 5, my 5 children, that I have 18 grandchildren, that I have 18 and I'm going to say 0.5 great grands, because one we're expecting in a couple of months. But Lorraine, for me, the joy has been that through the trials, tribulations, and struggles, nothing surpasses the joy I've felt, I feel as a mother. So those are the lessons, because I remember when my babies, I had 4 babies under 5. And I would think sometimes, oh Lord, how am I going to get through this? Hubby working and all of that. And a woman said to me, and this is where we get strength from our sisters. She said, they're not always going to be this little.
Absolutely.
And I had to keep that in mind, because when you're changing one baby, trying to, you're just like, oh my goodness, does this? And she was so right, And so that is the advice that I give when people start to talk to me about, and I just say, just remember, it's not going to last always. Yes, you'll always be a mother, but you're not always going to be changing diapers and wiping
Staying
on
up late.
noses and all of those things. So Lorraine, thank you, because that, thanks for asking me that question, because it is just something I'm just extremely proud of, but more than that, just feel so blessed and honored to, to be a mom. It's just, I just feel like there's nothing better than that. So thank you. So in closing, ladies, we have a couple of minutes. Is there anything you'd like to share, in a minute or so about today and what this week means? I mean, you did talk about it in the beginning, but do you have a final thought or comment you'd like to make?
I am not yet a mother. However, working with mothers have enlightened me in many ways. And one of the lessons that I've learned is that motherhood doesn't exist without tears, right? And sometimes it's tears of joy, unspeakable love, and other time it's tears of overwhelming fatigue and exhaustion. and, and you know what's worse? You can return the kid, right?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I am learning, and by the time I become a mom, I'm sure I'll be well equipped to navigate motherhood. And because of that, it's a passion of mine to create that space for mothers to show up as themselves without fear of judgment. And that's why Circle of Hope exists. And Circle of Hope is a support group that we facilitate on Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m. And it's virtual, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. You can just show up. And the beauty of it all is that we are all strong enough to welcome all emotions. We welcome smiles, we welcome tears, and we welcome frustration as well. And if it's something you are interested in, please visit our website at www.pmch.org to see all the support group that we have available. So yeah, that's what I have to share with you all.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Melanie, your last word. We have to keep, Yeah. Do you have a last thought?
I do. I just want to say that, first of all, I enjoyed talking with you guys today. It was awesome to celebrate Black Maternal Health Week. We need to keep it going. And after this week, we can still create a space where we talk about Black maternal health and help our moms to get healthier. And just like Lorraine, our group has virtual support groups running. We meet in the evenings from 6:30 to 7:30, the first Thursday of the month and the last Thursday of the month. I am providing healthy infant feeding support to moms who need it from Jersey City and Patterson. And you can also find information about our group at www.pmch.org. And I look forward to meeting any new moms that want to hang out with us.
Right. And so everyone, we've come to the end of our discussion for today. I really would like to take the time to thank you for listening in and hearing, the thoughts and feelings and the passions of our wonderful panelists, Again, my name is Marie Kinsella. I'm with the Partnership for Maternal and Child Health of Northern New Jersey. Both young ladies gave you our website, www.pmch.org. Please go to our website because there are just so many wonderful things that the partnership has to offer. So again, I wish you a wonderful day and a very, very pleasant week. Thank you.
All right.